We're here.
Whoa, that was really loud in my ears.
Oh, was it? Did it
That was
penetrate
so loud.
your
It was
ears?
glorious, though. It was glorious. How are
Oh,
you, my dear Forrest?
I am very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Here we are, another interview episode.
Oh, I love an interview. It comes up with such surprises and whatnot. It's
So
fantastic.
surprised. Mexico Northern and everything.
Oh, it's awesome. You never know what you're gonna get. Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely love one. I have just realised we've not actually formulated any questions, but luckily after this, we'll give ourselves a couple of minutes.
Oh, exactly. And we always have the questions in our heads anyway. We're just
Very true.
we're
So
just
true.
free flowing. I mean, dear listener, if you've guessed by now, this is an interview episode, so we are interviewing this week.
I mean, you did say it, but anyway.
About 3-4 times there, but just so you haven't got the memo, we are doing an interview episode. So this is with Sian Parker. Sian Parker is a content creator, is a Funko collector, also
Funkos.
a business owner as well. Just a
Wow.
whole conglomerate of things, which is very exciting. And I think particularly just to kind of like get an idea of how to kind of like build a business, particularly kind of through the lens of like social media. I'm really intrigued about the Funko collection as well. I don't know if you've seen it, like her Instagram is absolutely incredible, and all the sheer amount of Funko that she's got is absolutely awesome. So I'm really interested to have a chat about that. I think it's one of those things because I used to get really into Lego, right? So I was like a massive fan of Lego. I could definitely see myself going, do you know what? I'm gonna get a few Funko. I mean, to be honest, I've got a few anyway. I have like Christmas ones, but I don't have like
a Christmas
like,
Funko.
I do. I have a Scrooge one, and I have a Dwight Schrute one as Belschnickel.
Oh my god! Didn't know that was a thing. I've never seen that. Never seen your Dwight Street one.
That's
Fucking
a lie.
hell.
You have it. I bought it when we were working together. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. See, don't remember, but I'll bring it.
I don't remember. I definitely want to see that again, though. Dwight Schrute. Yeah.
But yeah, it's all super exciting. So she's got a business called CM Pop. CM Pop. I was going to say CM Punk. She's also a wrestling fan. So Forrest, you're going to get really like disillusioned by this because we're going to go on a wrestling rant as well because I'm a massive wrestling fan.
Just don't bring up your conversation from the previous 2 weeks in regards to wrestling, though, please.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
I
true.
I don't want to be a third wheel on that fun train. Thank you very much. But yeah, no, that's brilliant. That was great.
Super
Look forward to it.
exciting.
Can't wait.
Yeah, let's. I tell you what, let's not delay. Let's bring her in. Let's let her introduce herself and tell us all about the work that she does. And yeah, let's get talking about Marvel and DC as well. Let's do it.
Ooh, see you on the other side.
Let's
Play
go.
that intro, Forrest.
Sian, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's really cool of you. Thank you.
No, I'm actually really excited. This is my first podcast.
Amazing.
No way.
I know.
Fantastic. And
This
I
is
have to... Sorry,
It's a
carry on.
historic moment. I was going to say it's a historic moment.
It is. This is awesome. Oh, brilliant. Oh, it's good to know. And thank you for being, choosing us to be your first as well. I appreciate that. That's really awesome.
Go easy with me.
Yeah, we'll go easy with every guest. I mean, what I will say is that we put these will go on YouTube, so people can enjoy the colourful background that you got going on there. You're rocking the most colourful background we've seen.
It's
Let's
so
just get out of the
cool.
way. These are just my favourite bits. This is like a drop in the ocean of collectibles.
I don't think I've ever seen like a Funko collection like this before in my life. It's incredible work. The dedication has got to be like the mad respect I have for that. It's amazing.
Oh, honestly, it's got out of hand now.
This is good. This is the perfect place to start, actually. I tell you what. So, tell us what you, Sian. What do you do in terms of like work, but then particularly in terms of content creation, but then also what collections we've got going on behind us.
So I started off, I had a very average job in London city office, and I started collecting about 7 years ago, and it honestly it got out of hand very quickly, and I just started an Instagram account mainly just to show my Funko, really.
Mm.
Because I just kept scrolling through other people's accounts, and it's a very male dominated hobby.
Yeah.
And I thought, do you know what, there's room for some girly action here. So I started my Instagram account, and it grew really quickly. And then from there, I ended up starting a business, Sian Pop, and we are official retailers for Funko, Loungefly.
That's awesome.
We do
Amazing.
TCG. And again, that grew really quickly to the point where I was actually able to give up my job and run my business full time.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And in terms of how long, in terms of the span of creating the business, how long has that been going on for?
So I started the Instagram account, where are we? 25. So I started the Instagram account at the end of 2022. Is that right? 2020, yeah, end of
Yeah.
2022. And I started the business, I want to say, I think our first sale was May 2023. And then it's grown from there, really. So
And
it's coming up to 2 years old.
That's amazing.
did you have to get quite a lot of, because I imagine for a new business, there's a lot that you probably didn't know coming into it, and like, how did you kind of seek the right advice or get on in those first couple of years with that?
So I along with my partner, we actually run a couple of businesses. So in terms of starting a business and things like that, that was fine. Retail is a completely different ball game to what we are used to. Things like setting up the website. So that's I had experience doing that in my previous job.
Mm.
It wasn't easy, but I mean, it was fun. We're collectors, and I think that's something that was kind of missing, is that a lot of the businesses that sell, mainly resellers, they're not collectors. They just see the pound signs. They don't really care. And I think that's where we were different. We actually collect, so we wanted to make it affordable, because there's some pieces that people, they'll resell, and the prices are just ridiculous, and that's kind of where we saw a gap in the market. Is we're collectors supplying other collectors, giving other collectors opportunities to get items that they wouldn't necessarily be able to, because they might only be available in the States and things like that, at a fair price. I think the other thing is, and what I've found is that other retailers, and when I use that phrase, I'm talking about, the official ones that are getting their stock from Funko and Loungefly, they're actually really lovely. They're so helpful. And I think that's quite rare, especially when you are speaking to people who, you may be seen as competitors and things like that. Not everyone is always going to want to offer that advice and be kind and help a brother out. But actually, I found that all of the retailers we've ever reached out to, they've been fantastic. So we're very lucky in that respect.
It's really, really cool. We had an interview with an auction house called Excalibur Auctions, and they auction loads of like nerd, geek kind of culture stuff, and loads of pop culture things as well. Lots of kind of like memorabilia as well. And they were talking about kind of just the wonderful aspect of like just bringing a community to get together that have the same interests and have the same types of collections. What's that like with you in the community that you engage with yourself?
So I've been very fortunate that I've gone to quite a few events, conventions, and things like that, where I've met people that follow me on Instagram, or follow me on whatnot, and it's amazing. You can have conversations with people that you've met for 5 seconds that you couldn't have with your friends that you've been friends with for years and years, because quite frankly, they don't care about your nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
It's a bit immature. But you can have really in-depth conversations with people that you've just met, and I think it's brilliant. And I think, even to the extent of being across the pond from people. I mean, a lot of my followers, they're American, And going to things like MegaCon in Orlando or New York Comic Con, I get to meet these people in real life, and it's so cool. Yeah, it's brilliant.
That's really
That's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
I have an odd logistical question, right? When it comes to going to these conventions and stuff. So I often work like me and Matt. We'll go to conventions. We'll see these Funko Pop stands, and I'm like,
We saw yours when we were in October. Yeah, I remember October 2023. Oh my god, no, 24, no 23. Jesus, it was 23.
23, yeah.
At London, MCM.
London, yeah.
Yeah. So we saw you there, and I always see these things, and I'm like, just like, what is the logistics involved in getting all of that kit there? Because some of this is worth a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And the dangers involved of like, they're just everywhere, and so people just grab it. Yeah. Anyway, just talk to me about that. I'm intrigued.
So just to be really honest, the OCD part of me hates people coming behind the stand and pulling everything off the racks. Honestly, it took at least 2 conventions for me to be convinced that we should have people round the back. No, so logistically, it takes a village. There is a lot of prep that goes into it before a convention takes place, at least a couple of weeks, and that includes things like getting stock ready, making sure we don't sell it on whatnot. We have so the first time we did it, we actually built the racks at Comic-Con. Just took ages. It took forever. So what we did was we went and had a look what other people were doing, because we thought, God, there's got to be an easier way. And they have these roller racks that you see them around Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's have like the boxes of crisps and stuff, and they roll them around. Imagine that, but with shelves in it. They've got these roller racks, and we were like, oh my God, why didn't we think of that the first time? So we bought those. So we actually have everything loaded up on these racks, and we actually have it loaded up most of the year now because of Whatnot. And so that makes it easier to transport the Funko. The Grails, they will all go in big heavy duty plastic tubs to keep them safe, and then the bags. So at New York Comic Con, if you go to the Funko or the Loungefly booth, even if you buy a small pin, you will get this massive, and I'm talking like 3 or 4 foot tall bag. And we've got about 10 of them, and we just load them up with Loungefly, and we just drag them to the con.
Wow. That's amazing. That's so cool.
You've mentioned Whatnot a few times. Do you want to just like let us know a little bit about that? Yeah, what is Whatnot?
So Whatnot is an online live stream selling platform. It's massive in the US, and it came to the UK, I want to say about 18 months ago now. And I mean, it's a nerd's heaven, honestly, because you can buy anything. I mean, from comics, cards, women's fashion. I'm in the Funko category, and I sell Funko Loungefly. Starting Pokemon cards this week.
Amazing.
I mean, there's people selling gold bullion on there. There is something for everyone, honestly. It's brilliant. We started in April. I want to say April last year. We've got almost 9,000 followers on there. And we stream 3 or 4 times a week.
That's so cool. Do you know what? It's really great just to learn. Like, you've only been doing it for a couple of years, but clearly the level of dedication that you and obviously the people that are involved in your business as well, that just have on a daily occurrence and stuff. It's really commendable. What would you kind of, in terms of like advice for anybody that would be sort of wanting to set up a business like this, or kind of like a retail collection based something like this, like Funko, Loungefly, might be something else, Lego for instance, I don't know. What advice would you give them?
I think my biggest piece of advice is be interested in what you're doing. Have a passion for it, because when you start your own business, of course there's benefits. Of course, of course there's benefits of having your own business. But what people don't realize is it's not a 9 to 5. When you're on holiday, you're not turned off. Your laptop's not turned off. Your phone's not turned off. so I think if you are starting a business and you want to own your own business, you've got to be passionate about it because it is a 24/7 thing. I mentioned before we started that I've been really unwell recently with flu, and it, you don't just get your sick days from work and you can stay in bed all day and you
Yeah.
still have to work. I've still had
Yeah.
to stream and things like that. So you've got to be passionate about it, and I think that might be where some people sort of have their downfalls, is that they see it as kind of in certain businesses get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
And it's not. Sometimes you're taking a loss, sometimes you're gambling and a gamble doesn't come through, but as long as you've got your passion for what you're doing, you're always going to have fun, you're always going to be proud of what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
With let's turn towards the wonderful display that is behind you with all the Funko. It's like I said, it is a collection to just be in awe of, because I've never seen anything like it. How many Funkos do you own?
I knew you were going to ask. I knew. So I actually checked the Funko app before I came on, but then I realised that actually there's a load sitting down there that I haven't put in. I'm up to about 3,500 now.
That is insane.
Oh.
How do you have the space to store them? That's mad.
So honestly, it's expanded. It's expanded about 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all across the wall. It is easier to fit more on when they're out the box. And I know a lot of people are going to be having palpitations right now.
Yeah, they're going to have heart attacks on that statement,
Yeah.
I think, Sean. Yeah.
But I've actually just so my thing for this year is I'm focusing on my grails, rather than just buying everything that comes out. I'm focusing on picking up the grails that I really want. So I've actually got some shelves all around me right now, and they're a little bit empty because I haven't filled them yet. But I've started to put my grails around me. So, and they're staying in the box. Just to be clear.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's amazing. And so I'm going to expand on that more and ask 2 questions. One being what has been your all-time favorite of Funko Pop specifically, and also what's the and you don't have to say how much, but what is the kind of rarest or most expensive Funko Pop you've ever dealt with?
Okay, so my favorite, I've got 2. Can I have 2? Okay, I can have 2. I've got 3,500. Two's fine. So my first favorite is my Diamond Marie. So I'm a big Aristocats fan. She's my favorite Disney character. She's behind me next to Buzz. I don't know if you can see her. But I mean, I love the Diamond Funko anyway. So when I found a Diamond Marie, I was very happy with that. But also for Christmas, my partner got me Bee Rabbit, and I've wanted it for ages, and I didn't really ever take the plunge and buy it because I thought the prices were overinflated, but I mean, it hasn't come down, so I guess that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
But I got Bee Rabbit for Christmas, and I was very happy with that one.
Amazing.
That's cool.
And then in terms of rarest or most expensive, I've got a lot.
The fact that you're really having to think about it.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
I've got all 4 OG Simpsons. They're very expensive.
Wow.
Cool, I bet that is expensive.
Yeah, I've just completed the set. I was missing Bart, and I just bought him back from MegaCon because I found him at a really good price because he had a little dink on the box, and I don't really care about that. So that had a good price. I think that, but one that we're actually selling at the moment is we've got an OG metallic Skeletor, and that's worth about 1,000 that we've got.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just incredible. The
That's
best thing
mad
I can
money,
kind of compare it to, because I used to collect Lego. I used to work for the retail store in Stratford about 12 or 13 years ago now, And when I was working there, I used to just like literally just get loads of sets and just bank them and just go, right, I'll just keep hold of them until, they go up in value. How
Yeah.
quickly do like, say, first edition Funkos or that kind of the value of something that's unopened, how quickly can it expand? Or does it depend on what the item is?
Yeah, I think it really depends. I think nowadays, and I think a lot of Funko collectors would agree with me, there isn't as much rarity with Funko anymore.
Right.
So there used to be, especially when you went to conventions, there'd be a lot of really limited piece count exclusives that you could only get if you went to this convention, or they would do limited piece counts of certain Funko, which in terms of everyone being able to have it, obviously is not great, but in terms of having something that is rare and exclusive and really exciting, that's brilliant. But now a lot of it is so mass produced, and it's a lot harder to find rarer pieces at conventions or events. But with that being said, I remember we sold a Doctor Doom Funko, and I think at the time it was worth about 20 quid.
Yeah.
A week later, as soon as at SDCC, and I think this happened last year at SDCC, they announced that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be playing Doctor Doom.
Yep.
The price just went crazy,
Oh, wow.
and we actually we had another one available, and it sold, I think, for about £150.
Wow.
And that was in the space of a week.
Wow.
It was crazy. And that was because we had a bidding war on it. It was crazy.
How annoying that you sold the other one for 20 quid a week before, though. You must have been like, oh, what? Just 1 week later.
Yeah, just wait, yeah.
Just hold on.
But then this is the thing. This is where it kind of comes back to where I said, I'm a collector and I want to help collectors. Actually, I was. Do you know what? I think we turned around and said, well, you know what? Good for the person that just fancied buying it last week, because they've saved loads of money. And now all of a sudden that pop just skyrocketed. But then I think about a month later, the price just dropped again. So I think a lot of it is FOMO.
Yeah.
That is the case with, say, the New York Comic Con pops. A lot of people will you'll be able to sell them, but you have to sell them within about a week of New York Comic Con, because you get the shared exclusives that come out and things like that, and the price just drops.
It's really interesting, like the level of supply demand, isn't it, as well? It's that kind of the rarity around it and just getting to it as quickly as you can before it kind of devalues in it within itself. What was the first ever Funko that you got?
It was an OG Flash pop. So it's when I was watching the TV show, but I mean, I'm not a massive DC fan now, to be honest. I've over the years I've gone right off of it. So
nice, yeah,
insane,
kind of.
You kind of preempted my next question there, Sean, to be fair, because obviously we are a superhero related podcast, so we always ask all of our guests, no matter whether the guest has zero concept of superhero stuff, which has happened quite recently, or like yourself, who I imagine is probably on the other side of it. So you've kind of summed it up, but Marvel versus DC, what would be your favourite, and what would be your favourite kind of superhero?
Marvel always.
Nice.
I mean, I feel like as a Marvel fan, I feel like they've let us down a lot over the last year or so. I'm not super hot on it. Actually, I was watching some YouTube clips of older like Avenger movies recently, and honestly, it really does show that the last couple of years, the movies have just been awful. Awful. In terms of favorite superhero, I am a Thor girl through and through.
Amazing.
Maybe Chris Hemsworth girl, I don't know.
Mix
they
of the
blend.
two.
I also love Iron Man as well.
Nice. Awesome.
Amazing.
With that then, what's the best like Marvel like character that you've got in a Funko?
this is a hard one because Marvel Funko was honestly Marvel and Disney are honestly the worst categories to collect because there are so many of them. I mean, Spider-Man, as an example, I think at least 3,000 of the 3,500 I've got a Spider-Man, because what Funko will do is they'll make a Spider-Man like this, and then they'll make a Spider-Man like this, and then like this. But you have to collect them all because you want to complete the set.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Mad. It's outrageous.
But yeah, it's crazy. I have got some really nice Marvel Grails actually. I've got most of the OG ones, and they're all really cool.
That's super. Do you out of interest, right? So one of our kind of our not our logo, but we have a bigger piece of artwork, which is me and Matt dressed up as Shaun of the Dead, and oh my god, is it Ed? What's his name? Yeah, Ed. Yeah. Shaun and Ed. And I was just wondering, do you have any Shaun of the Dead Funko?
I don't, but we have them on pre-order. Sian Parker.co.uk.
Oh, yes, please.
Like we planned that.
I am. Consider me on that link.
Yeah.
Job done. I love that. Amazing.
Yeah, they're hard to get. The OG ones are hard to get. They're worth a lot of money. But they are re-releasing them, and they're available on pre-order with a lot of retailers.
Ooh, exciting news. There we go, Matt. Got to get our purchase in.
Going quick.
Yeah.
So just to kind of wrap up, have you seen Captain America yet?
No, I haven't. No. Please, no spoilers. But do you know what? I think this is kind of showing the feeling I have towards Marvel at the moment is that, when we were at the peak, so Endgame, I stayed up till midnight to watch the midnight showing of it because I didn't want spoilers and I wanted to see it. I couldn't wait. Now I'm just like, I'll just wait till it comes out on Disney Plus. And that's how I feel about a lot of the Marvel movies now, because it's just, they've just been so bad. I think Deadpool was good, but I don't think it didn't really have anything. It was just its own thing, really. I think the Marvel movies have just been so bad. So yeah, at the moment I'm just like, I'll just wait till Disney Plus.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to Fantastic Four? What are your thoughts on that in terms of the trailers that we just had?
I've never been fussed by Fantastic Four.
To be fair, same.
Yeah, I might go and see it in the cinema, but honestly, I need something to kind of bring me back in.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Agatha series. Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, we reviewed that.
Brilliant.
It was great.
Yeah, and I think they needed that. But I feel like they really do need a good movie to kind of bring us back in a little bit. I don't know if it will be the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I really feel like they're really holding hope that will be the case with Fantastic Four, but they've had two very mediocre franchises already in the past with that. So the fact that they're trying to go on a third time's a charm, and this will probably, reboot everything for us in terms of like, interest, popularity. I just feel like it's just gonna fall on its arse a bit. And July's a big month for superheroes as well, because we've got Superman as well that's coming out, which apparently early screen tests are really bad.
Yes, but let's be real about this, okay? Why would you get rid of Superman from Superman? Like, Henry Cavill is literally Superman.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
It's mad, isn't it?
It actually, maybe he might be my top superhero. I might make an exception for Henry Cavill Superman.
Fair play.
Okay.
I mean, he is a bit of a specimen, but
Chris Hemsworth and Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
and Sean is a yes.
But yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for who's playing Superman now. I can't think.
David Corn Sweat, whatever his name is.
I mean, I feel sorry for him because I think it doesn't matter how good he is. I just think that if everyone everyone's going to be a bit down on it because of Henry Cavill, because it just doesn't make any sense. Really.
They're big shoes to fill, I think, and I think and I know that James Gunn's going very much in a different direction with it all, but I think at the end of the day, you're giving us a new Superman with the generation of people that were coming to the cinema where we were like, well, our Superman is Henry Cavill, so it's how we've got to disconnect ourselves from that is hard. It's hard for a fan base to do that. So we'll see.
I've got a question for you guys.
Ooh,
am I allowed to ask you questions?
You flipped it here, Sean. What's going on?
Am I allowed to do this?
Chaos is brewed. Yeah, no, go for it.
What is your favourite Marvel movie, and what is your least favourite Marvel movie?
Well, least favourite, I think me and Forrest are unanimous on this, and is Eternals.
Oh, thank God you said that.
Eternals was it was just all kinds of bad, and we keep reference it in pretty much every week in the podcast. In terms of favourite, that's really hard.
I'll go for. I'll say Shang-Chi. I thought that was fantastic.
It's a bit left field.
Yeah, I think it's quite an underrated, but I love, for an origin movie, I think they just really do it really well, I think, for me. And it's a good showcase of a movie of a superhero that isn't we don't get it doesn't bleed massively into the rest of the Marvel universe, but it also doesn't feel massively standalone that you're going, what's the point in this? Which so many movies recently have done. So I think they did a good job.
Yeah. I feel like mine's got to be Infinity War, just because of the story, the action, just the investment around that. We all knew Endgame was going to be good, but I think just the build up to it in Infinity War, you just and again, like in terms of what we're just saying, like Marvel have not been able to replicate that, and I don't think they'll be able to when it comes to Doomsday or Secret Wars, because it was just lightning in a bottle for a movie.
Yeah.
It was just so good. So yeah, Infinity War for me. That's for me.
In all fairness, I feel like you've copped out by choosing an Avengers movie. I purposely stayed away from it because, of course, they're amazing. They've got all the bloody heroes in it. I've gone for but maybe I messed up there.
Yeah, but it is the best Marvel movie.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it pretty much is.
What about yourself, Sean?
Do you know what? I completely agree. Infinity War is easily the best movie. I could watch that over and over again. And I think Eternals is the worst movie ever. I hate it. I think it was just awful. Whenever we get people ask us for Eternal Pops and whatnot, they get a barrage of abuse from me, because I'm like, are you actually winding me up? You want to spend money on figures of Eternal? Please, just leave the stream. You can go. You can close the door on the way out. But do you think that Endgame delivered what it was supposed to? And the reason I asked that is because I remember at the midnight showing, I left really disappointed. It wasn't what I wanted. I don't think it was what I wanted. As a Marvel fan who'd waited for that, that big finale, I don't think it was what I wanted. I mean, the battle scene was about 5 minutes long.
It wasn't long, was it? It wasn't long. They,
No.
I think they had trouble with it, didn't they? They kept kind of having issues with their CGI, which coincidentally was the issue that kind of went forward, going into kind of like phase 4 with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I kind of agree. I mean, I'll be quite honest. I'll be honest. I did cry when I watched that. I did cry at the end. But I can definitely see why people think it was a bit of a kind of disappointment. But I think it's really difficult, isn't it? Because what you're doing is you're wrapping up almost 10 years of stories, and that has never been really done in a way since Star Wars, since that kind of way of storytelling. And I think they did what they needed to do. I think you're right. The action sequence at the end, I think, should have probably been a good quarter of the movie. That would have been great.
But best use of theme music ever, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing about Endgame, is like, as soon as that Marvel music kicks in, this is the shit.
It's time. Yeah. But like, there were so many spoilers in the movie that really irritates me, because I just think, you didn't need to do that because you're spoiling the next part. So, for example, when Hawkeye gets a call from his wife who'd been clicked, well, we didn't need to have a phone call. Just wait a minute, wait until that battle scene, and then we know it worked. I didn't need things like that. Really annoyed me, and the fact that really the only reason that everyone eventually came back is because a mouse happened to step on a button. Like,
This is it.
I mean,
mouse,
when you break it down like that, Sean,
When you break exactly,
cinematic history. Yeah?
I'm just ruining it.
I'm saying it now. I think this is what Disney need to do. They need to employ us. Marvel needs to employ us just to get into a writer's room and go, look, guys, have you thought about this? Come on.
Does the mouse really need to be there?
Yeah. What I don't admire is Sean sitting on the fence about so many of these issues. Choose a side, Sean.
I know. Before I came on, I was told to just be cool. Don't give too many opinions. I'm like,
No, we are full of opinions here. But thank you so much, though, Sean. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on. It's been great to hear all about the business. Before you go, do you want to just kind of advertise where we can find you, where our listeners can find you, and
yeah. So you can find our website, cmpop.co.uk. Obviously, give us a follow on all the socials, Catman Pop or CM Pop UK. And also go and give me a follow on Whatnot, Catman Pop. Live streaming at least 3 or 4 times a week, selling Funko, Loungefly, signed stuff, and now TCG as well. So now I need to figure out Pokemon. Yeah. Well, that's going to be fun.
You wrap your head around that, yeah. And I am definitely pre-ordering some Shaun of the Dead kit. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
Thank you so much for coming on.
We'll get you back on as well. Hopefully, maybe for a review of a Fantastic Four. Let's do Fantastic Four and have very honest chats about it.
We could start our own honest trailers.
Oh my god!
Amazing. Love that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean. Take care.
Cheers, Sean.
Thank you.